You got your drink? Let's do this.
All right, I'm good to go, Joe. Sorry about that, man. I had to make sure I'm all right.
All right, let's do this. Here we go. What's up, guys? Joel Vallie from Media Glitch here, and we have another awesome episode. And today we're going to talk about video games that we will never beat again. Now, that could be because they are just horrible games, or the difficulty level was so brutal once was enough, okay? But I am not alone. As you can see on the screen, I got my boy. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Radical Reggie.
Yep, and if you don't know his channel, I'll put a link in the description. And I also have my other boy,
Intrigue Gaming. This is John.
John from Intrigue Gaming is here as well. And these guys, man, we talk on a daily. We stream every weekend, Saturday nights usually over on Reggie's channel. So be sure to go and check that out if you ever want to see us interacting and acting crazy and stuff like that. And so this episode's gonna be I'm actually quite excited to talk about some of the games that we're going to talk about. But Reggie, I'm going to let you go ahead, pass the mic to you. Tell me, what is that first game that you'll never ever beat again?
Okay, so this is kind of crazy. At the time, I thought this game was awesome. You know, at the time it was, I waited for it to come out for years, and I had a bunch of time to play it because I was in North Carolina at the time, and my unit was deployed. So I was like, I had to stay behind because they needed people to like be at the unit. So we had like more free time pretty much. And when I got this game, thought it was amazing, awesome. But looking back at it now, it was one of the worst gaming experiences I ever had. And that game is Tomb Raider: Angel of Darkness. You know, bro, I actually beat the game. And, you know, as hard as it was, as difficult as it was, and just glitchy and all that stuff, I was still having a good time because at the time I couldn't wait for that game. I thought it was awesome. New Tomb Raider graphics are great and everything. Laura's on the run. She's in the city now. She's, you know, it's really was an epic story to me at the time. And then they had the Tomb Raider movies come out at the same time during that time. So they were trying to like push those with the game and everything. But when I try to go back and look at that game again, dude, I was like, this was horrible, man. I cannot play this ever again. How did I get through this game? You know, Laura, she has to get her strength back in the game by pushing doors closed, or it's just all kind of weirdness, getting her grip strength back by like climbing and hanging, dangling on edges and stuff like that. It's just so like messed up, man. And the controls are clunky, game's glitchy. You can't see where you need to go sometimes. It just really a very difficult game. But I was a different type of gamer back then. You know, like I could play games that shouldn't have been put out. You know, I just was that dedicated to the series. But looking at it now, I don't know how I got through that, and I would never touch that game ever again.
Right. I mean, that's back in the day when, you know, games like now we have releases every day of a game, or whether it's indie, you know, there's every week there's something new dropping, and it's the big thing for like a week. And then you never hear about it no more because they're on to the next game. But back then you're like, well, I don't know when a new Tomb Raider is going to drop. So, yeah. Right?
Yeah, you had to play it until you got sick of it.
I mean, that game actually like made like the company who made Tomb Raider, I think it was Eidos at the time, or I'm not sure it was Crystal Dynamics, but whoever was Core Gaming, I think Core something like that. They kicked him off Tomb Raider games after that. This game was horrible. What were you guys doing all this time? This game was crap. So they pretty much fired them, and that shows you how bad they did. And they rebooted the series after that. So
and they did a great job with that reboot. So
yeah, the Legend series was great. That's probably one of my favorites out there. But yeah, Tomb Raider: Angel of Darkness. If you guys see it on the shelf anywhere,
burn it.
Think twice. Or don't think at all. Don't even look at it the other way.
So, John from Intrigue Gaming, tell us, what is your first pick?
First pick, this might be a surprise for a lot of people. I got this game. This is the very first game I ever got on the Nintendo 64. Loved it back then. I beat it multiple times when I had it because that was my only game for probably around 6 months to a year. but Star Wars Shadow of the Empire.
I love that game. Come on.
I love the game too, but I'm never gonna beat it again.
It's tough. It is hard.
It's a hard game. It is. I went back and I played it once I got the Eon adapter for the N64. It still looks pretty good. But going through it, it's just so finicky. Once you get to modern gaming, you get used to these controllers we have now. When you go back and you play with the N64, it doesn't feel right, and it's so hard to play.
Like GoldenEye. Have you booted that bad boy up? Oh my lord!
Yeah, I can get to this Lance. What are those things called? Cut.
I'm not editing this. This goes up raw, dude.
Okay,
there you go.
Sweet.
I'm like ODB, man. I like it raw. Come on.
You get to the speeders level, and it's crazy intense. You have to kill everybody on that board that you're racing against and get first place. It's just too intense for me nowadays. And the controls, when you get the jetpack, I just can't do it anymore. I'll enjoy the first 3 or 4 levels, but I don't think I'll ever beat this game again, even if I really, really try.
It's tough.
You were having a good time when you were playing it, though.
I love playing this game. Like I could throw it in right now, and I enjoy playing it. But I just don't see myself having the patience to sit there and get through it again. And I beat it multiple times as a kid, so I'm not missing anything, but not beating it again.
And I think my first pick, well, this is a good segue, that it's not that I'm never gonna play this game again. I'm never gonna beat this game again. I'll play this game. In fact, when I was capturing the footage for this game, I was having a good time because of a little thing called save states. And that's how I'm gonna play this my first one, and that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. That game is brutal, man. And that's why it's not because it's not fun. Well, yes, it does. It becomes not fun because it gets too hard, and one little jump can send you back so far, and the respawning enemies, the whole. And I know Angry Video Game Nerd touched on this, is that little space. I think got everyone that you thought you had to jump it, and you can just walk over it, or you can jump it. Yeah. Sometimes you can jump it and achieve it, and then you got if you miss it, you got to go back around. Then there's another hole you could possibly fall in, go back to another level lower than that, and it was just like, oh my gosh, this is too much, and it takes the fun factor out of it sometimes. So, but when I was having a good time with save states, so like if I beat the game, I'll do it with save states, but I'll never beat it like back in the day. And I remember I was telling Reggie one night this story, like I was in the Technodrome, the last level. If you don't know, it's freaking brutal, man. And I died. And I had every night I'd come home and I'd play it, and it takes forever to get to the end. It's not like one of those games you can speed run in like an hour. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm sure there's people that do it, but like for me, like to play it wisely and to do all the strategies so you can save as much life, it's very time consuming. And so I get there and I died, and it was around Halloween time. There was this big pumpkin right there that we hadn't carved yet. And I punched that thing and my fist went right in the pumpkin. And I just like pulled it out, and it was all like sludgy and nastiness. And like, I was just, as a kid, the strength of this, like, I was just so irate, man. Like,
you know what that reminded me of? National Lampoon's Vacation, where they go to, like, was it Happy World, or where'd they go at the end of that?
Wally World.
And the moose says, like, we're closed for like the summer, and he punches the moose right in the nose.
Dude, I totally Chevy chased that pumpkin, bro. Like, it was crazy. So, and this is a good way, or a good segue as well to the audience. We want to hear from you. Let us know in the comment section what 3 games you will never beat again. Whether it's because you hated it, it was bad, or you just played it and it was too hard. Whatever the reason is, let us know in the comment section below. So, moving on, Reggie, number 2. What is your second game?
All right, second game. You guys are gonna laugh. There's 2 different versions of this game. I'm just gonna show a couple of them here because it came out on the Wii, and I think that one of them came out on some other system I can't think of right now. Alone in the Dark for PS2 and the PS3. I'm a big fan of survival horror games, and I was really looking forward to playing the Alone in the Dark games because Alone in the Dark is pretty much like the grandfather of survival horror games, kind of like what everybody started to look at when survival horror games came out. But after Dark Works did the fourth game, I was just expecting that same kind of like progress, like good progress in this one. And this game didn't deliver at all. It sucked, man. It's horrible controls. It's glitchy. You don't know what's going on. You get killed for like nothing pretty much in this game. It's just like, it's like they put out an unfinished game. And the PS2 and Wii versions are like, they're their own game and they have their own different ending and everything. They're really just bad. And I forced myself to play through them because I was a fan of the series. I thought the game was going to get better as I played through. You know how sometimes a game has a rough start and then you play through it and it starts to get better? No, man, it got worse. And the way the PS2 version ended, man, I was like, dude, like this can't be. So I found out the PS3 version supposedly was better, had more cinematics, two different endings and everything. I played that version. It was still bad. And I couldn't believe that they actually put something out like this to have people buy. I said, how could you do this to people, man? Like, this is a beloved series, at least was at the time. Yeah. And they put this out thinking people spend their hard-earned money on this, and they think it's okay. And I'll never forget how disgusted I was. You know, I just felt like, dude, I felt like violated. Like, I took my hard money on that game, and it was as bad. And not only that, too, the game was so bad, you could actually skip the levels and just go to the next level. It was too hard for you. They put that option in there for you on this game. You could just skip all the way to the end, pretty much.
Yeah, that's my kind of game.
I mean,
does that disable the trophy system?
I don't think so, because the trophies go by chapters and everything like that. So if you do a trophy on a chapter, I guess you'll still get it. But you don't want to get trophies on this game because this game is bad, man. They're not easy to get. Not that from what I remember.
Well, I platinumed it on the PS3.
What?
I did.
So you played through this game and you didn't even chime in while I was talking about it, Joel? What do you think?
I'm chiming in now. I'm chiming in, and this is what's beautiful about video games and movies is that art is subjective. And so, like, while you're hating the game, I was like, oh, this is all right. I agree. It's nowhere near as good as the other ones in the series. I will 100% agree with that. But I still had a good time and enough to go, I guess I'll get my platinum on this.
Okay, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Was it good enough to play again and beat it again?
No, I mean, I'm done. Okay. I'm done. Yeah.
I've never tried it. I don't think I will now.
But look through my PS3 platinums and you'll see it there.
Every game is okay to try it out for the experience, but like I said, we beat these games. So, you know, at the time, I felt like I forced myself to beat it because I was hoping the game would get better, and it didn't. And spoilers, folks, the game ends on a cliffhanger. So you're thinking a sequel's going to come out? Nope, because the game sold so poorly. So now you're left with no ending, no closure to the story.
It's not as bad as the movie either. I'll say that.
I haven't even watched the movie. I think Tara, what's her name? The blonde chick from
Christian
American
Slater,
Pie.
I believe, is in that too.
What's the girl's name from American Pie?
Is that
Tara Reeves?
Tara Reid.
Tara Reid.
Yeah, I saw she was in one of them, and I was like, dude, that's the lead actress, dude. Like,
is that where they're in like Alaska and it's all frozen?
No.
Okay, never mind.
All right, John, bringing it to you, buddy. What's your number 2?
All right, my number 2 game is another game that I like and I enjoy, but I'll never beat again. A game I had as a child. Me and my brother actually beat this together in 2-player mode after me getting tons of Charlie horses and yelled at and called stupid and everything else because, you know, big brothers, that's what they do. But that is Battletech for the Sega Genesis.
Oh.
This game, I enjoy it. I like it. If you like Desert Strike or the Jungle Strike, Urban Strike, the Strike series of games, it plays very similar to that, except for you're in a mech. You know, you're in a Battletech. It was also released on the Super Nintendo as Mech Warrior 3050. The problem with this game is the controls are really hard to get used to. You move your mech, but you have to aim at the same time, so your mech will keep moving while you're aiming around. So that becomes confusing. Then after you get the controls down, then the game just ramps up the difficulty. You step on landmines, just out of the blue.
Wow.
There's no warning or anything. There's landmines, other levels, there's other type of environmental problems you run into, lava, and this and that. I went back playing this to grab the gameplay footage, and I was struggling. I can't believe I actually ever beat this game, and now I know why it took me and my brother to beat it, because I don't think I could beat this game without using like the Game Genie or some type of cheats. Even though I love BattleTech, I love the idea, and I love the Urban and Desert Strike series of games, and it plays a lot similar to that. It's the difficulty. It's just too hard.
Yeah, right on.
Yes.
I've never played it, and sounds like I never will.
It sounds pretty rough, man. Like controlling the aiming while your leg. Yeah, that's yeah.
It
sounds like
when you,
Italian in a way, but
when you play it in 2-player, one person controls the mech, like where you walk, and the other person controls the turret. So he does the second person does all the shooting.
All right.
And the aiming. So it's actually a lot better to play with 2 players.
I could see like Chris Tang playing it with 2 controllers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
So, awesome. Well, my second one is an interesting one. I won't play it for 2 reasons. One, it was brutally hard for me. I know I've seen like, was it Mega Man Dan did a no death run on it. It makes me feel stupid. But some people are really good at the game. For me, it was really hard to beat. And second, I just don't really like the game, and that's Battletoads. Me and my cousin Tim Martinez, we played this game. Back then, you know, when you paid $60 for a game, if it was crap, it was crap, and you just played it until you beat it, because you know you just spent your money on it. You didn't have really much any choice. It's not back then. You couldn't take a game back if you didn't like it, like you can today. And so he loved it though. He loved it, and we just played it and played it and played it. And I like beat 'em ups like Double Dragon and stuff, but I just never felt like a connection to Battletoads. Except for maybe the pause music. I always thought that was great. But I remember just every, you know, summer break, every day, load it up, play all day into the night, not beating it, being discouraged, getting up in the morning, try it again, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, until finally, and I will say when we beat it, it was amazing. It was, you know, it's just like this, whoa, you know. But even as a kid, I knew I would never do this again. Like, I'll never do it again. And
that game changes it up so much because each level is so different. You know, it's not like it's a straight beat 'em up. It's like maybe the first 2 levels of beat 'em ups, and it changes to the bike level, then the snake level, or the ice level. So like it's all over the place.
Oh,
so,
dude, those snakes? No.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about
it. The turbo tunnel, that's what you usually hear about that game. Everyone griping about.
Everybody says the turbo tunnel. For me, it was the jet level. I hated that level. And the pipe maze level. That level was annoying too.
I hated the end tower, man. I hated that thing.
The tower was that's the hard level.
The repelling parts.
By the time you get there, your nerves are up here, bro. Like they're all the way to 100, and you're just like every button that you press, it feels like electricity going through your body because you don't want to mess up and have to start all over.
Start over.
Oh my gosh! So that's my number 2. Okay, moving on to our last one. Radical Reggie in the house with your spouse. What do you got for me?
So I made a rant about this game a couple of years ago when I played it. I was on a Facebook group, RPG Gamers, something like that, and I posted in that group that I was so upset with this game that I wasn't going to finish it. And that game is Tales of Zestiria for the PS4. Now you guys know I'm a big Tales fan, and I played all the Tales games. I really enjoyed them. But this one was kind of weird because they were saying that they're going back to the roots with this game of the older games. So I was like, they're going to change things up, man. What are they doing? And I played this game and it started off well, but knowing what to do and where to go is so frustrating in this game, and it pissed me off because it kills the pacing. And I remember I was spending hours in this game like, dude, where do I go next? What's going on here? Like, it's like, that's one of the worst things in RPG is not knowing where to go. I mean, and nobody's giving you any clues on what to do. So I just really just was upset with this game. And by the time I got to the end, I was like, dude, thank God this is over. And I never say that about the game. Most of the time, I'm like, oh man, this was a great game. I had a great time playing. But I was like, thank God this is over because I never want to touch this game again. And I hate saying that, but they really kind of took too many steps backwards with this game. And I lost interest like before I got to the middle of the game, unfortunately. So it was pretty much like a struggle just to stay interested in playing it. But some people talked me into like finishing it. I don't know if that was a good idea, but I did it. So yeah, I'll never go through it again, man. And yeah, and that's all I can really say about it.
I'll personally say that I put that one down.
You did. Yeah. A lot of people I hear did. So
I never got back.
I picked that one up recently, but I haven't started it yet.
John,
I don't know.
Save yourself the time, man, and skip it.
Just sell it.
And I was seriously excited to buy it too, and I couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
If a game doesn't pull you in, you might want to just rethink it. You know what I mean? Like something like Ys 8 pulled me in right away. I love that game. I was like, wow, this is gonna be a great adventure, and I was right. But if a game doesn't really pull you in that much, then hey,
warning sign, red flag.
I agree. All right, Intrigue Gaming. That brings you to your third. What do you got?
John from Intrigue Gaming. All right, my third game. It's a current generation game also. This game, it came out shortly after the release of the Switch. In the first few months of the Switch's lifespan, there wasn't a whole lot of games. And there wasn't a whole lot of good games. But a Mario game came out, and I was like, oh, yes. And I got Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It plays like an XCOM game, except for it has Mario characters and these Rabbids, which I've never heard of. Apparently, it was a cartoon series.
That's an Ubisoft.
And Ubisoft, yeah, it's made by Ubisoft.
Well, I think that's like kind of a staple character for them. I could be wrong. Let me know in the chat. I think that's like one of their flagship people. So
yeah, it's done really well, and it's interesting, and it's a fun game. All these games that I'm naming off are not games I hate or even really dislike. But once you get about halfway through the game, it just becomes, to me anyways, it became very repetitive in how you would complete the board. And the story was interesting, but nothing that I really I was dreaming to see the next part of. So by the time I finished this game, it was like, okay, good. I'm done with it. If it came out later in the life cycle of the Switch, I probably would have stopped playing this game halfway through and never finished it. Just because it wasn't that inspiring. I mean, it was fun gameplay, but the story, it was just mediocre at best, I should say.
Right. I hear, yeah. Well, this comes to my last pick, and this is an interesting one because it's a shooter, and I am horrible at shooters. And I do a segment on Media Glitch called Level Bosses, where I show you all the level bosses in the game. And I was on a roll. Like I did Golden Axe, and I did Altered Beast, and I was showing the level bosses. And then I made the mistake of going, what would you guys like to see? And I asked the audience, and the first one that came in was Gradius.
Of course, they picked one of the hardest ones. Right?
And I was like, okay, let me do this. Oh my gosh. I see people do no death runs, and that's great. And you know what? I got to the point where you basically have to beat that game doing a no death run, because when you die, you lose all your weapons,
all your power ups, and
so you have to get so good that you just keep, and oh my gosh! And if you watch the episode, I get so upset how many times I got to this stage and died, and I almost gave up. And then I did it, and I was like, I will never, ever play this game. I don't even own the game anymore. It's like, I'm done. I'm done with you. You're dead to me, like Juanito. That's like, that was it, man. Like, and so, and he requested the Gradius series. So I did Gradius 2, and I'm working on the Super Gradius now. That's all save states. I'm just gonna put it out there. It's all safe states because I will never
putting
do
yourself
that.
through that torture again.
Dude, forget it. Because with Altered Beast and Golden Axe, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play through the game. I'm gonna be legit. No, every level boss, just no. I use the safe state after Gradius. It broke me, man. It broke me. That game did, and I'll never beat it again. I'm so done. So, well, thanks guys for being on this episode. And
Thank you for having us.
again, go check out these guys' channel. Great content, and they're just amazing people. And so, let us know in the comment section below what's the game or games you will never beat again. We want to hear from you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell. You know, that helps us out. I'm trying to grow this channel. We're hoping, 10K? Hit 10K by the end of May.
Yeah,
So if you can share it.
On the road to 100K.
If you can share this video out with your friends, your grandma, your grandma's friends, whatever. I mean, we're all, we can't go out of the house. People need something to watch. And what better way to spend your time than watching Radical Reggie and Intrigue Gaming talk about the games they'll never beat again. So, okay, guys, we'll see you in the next episode. Say bye, gentlemen.
See you later.
See ya.